A week from D-Day, everything's still a mess, and my mind's just been circling the same things over and over. I'm nauseous most of the day, barely eating, sleep's been garbage, and I cry at the weirdest times. Like I cried yesterday in the kitchen just looking at the cutting board because I always made breakfast for him on it. I keep telling myself I'll be okay, but I don't feel like I will be. I've messed everything up in the most irreversible way. I've ruined something that was good, solid, something that could have lasted. And for what? Some guy who never even gave a damn about me. I'm 27 female. He's 30. We'd been together 4 years. We moved in together 2 years ago when I transferred jobs. He was already in the city and everything just kind of aligned. I will say things were perfect at the beginning, but then over time, not so much. He worked long hours. He's a software consultant, does well for himself, and that came with a lot of late meetings, last-minute travel, and just being drained most nights. I'd try to talk to him, and he'd nod off on the couch sometimes. We didn't really go out anymore. I'd mention it, he'd promise next weekend, and then next weekend would be another project deadline, or some wedding his cousins were throwing 3 states away, which would have been fun had I liked his family. I felt like I was starting to just disappear in the background of his life, like a roommate who helped with laundry and groceries. But none of that justifies what I did. I know that. I just want to explain the context. Before him, I had this thing with a guy. It wasn't a relationship. It was one of those messy, whatever this is, situations. He was someone I met through a friend, and we ended up hooking up a few times. The sex was so good, so I kept going for more. Even though everyone warned me not to, because he's a bit of a mess. But he was really amazing on bed and took his time with me to make sure I was utterly satisfied. He was also always ready whenever I wanted action. There were some feelings on my side after so many years of doing that, even though I had a boyfriend at the time. I thought it could be something, but he was always vague and said he wasn't ready for anything serious, had a lot going on, which was just code for, "You're not it." He worked minimum wage, bounced between jobs, drank too much. We'd hook up, then I wouldn't hear from him for weeks unless I mentioned the word sex. But when we were together, he had this charm that made it feel like maybe I was the one being impatient. Eventually, I found my current partner and moved on. My fiancé, total opposite. Steady job, comes from a good family, never anything flashy but always present. His mom sends birthday cards. His dad helped us paint our living room. He brought stability. I thought that was what I needed, and it worked. We clicked. My parents loved him. I liked showing him off. He was patient, never pressured me into anything, even helped me get a better job at his friend's company. But sometime last year, I randomly ran into the above guy again. He'd cleaned up a bit and said he was working at some warehouse now. No drinking, just trying to stay out of trouble. He asked for my number and I gave it to him, stupidly. I told myself it was okay because we had so much history and could just catch up like buddies, who knows. We started texting. It got more frequent. I didn't tell my fiancé because I knew he wouldn't like it. We met at a club a couple times. Then he started pushing for more. He'd send our pics and videos he took of me when doing things. He said I was the best he ever had. I told him I was engaged now. He acted like it didn't matter. I kept saying I couldn't, and I meant it, but I also kept meeting him. I don't even know why. Maybe part of me missed that energy and being banged so hard that my brains would spill over. He'd always been reckless and intense and messy, but when he looked at me, it felt like I was the only person in his world. It's pathetic, I know. My fiancé actually found our chat once. Just texts, no pictures, no explicit or flirtatious stuff. I had deleted majority of it, but not all. He asked who it was, and I said an old friend. I downplayed everything. He seems concerned, but he didn't push it too far. He believed me when I said we were just catching up. Then he proposed. That night he took me out, got down on one knee with his parents' ring, and I saw his hands shaking. I cried and said yes. We called our families. It was the happiest I had seen him in months. He told me later he'd been saving for the ring since the year before. I felt bad. I cried and told the other man it had to stop. He freaked out. He said I had been using him and I led him on. He said he knew I'd come crawling back, that I was a coward. Then he started threatening stuff. He said he'd message my parents, my fiancé, and ruin me. I blocked him, but he followed through. Last week, he messaged my fiancé on Facebook. They talked and he told him everything. Sent a bunch of screenshots and even sent a few photos of us in bed naked. I don't even remember when they were taken, but in one of them my hair's slightly pink, which makes it pretty recent. My fiancé didn't say much. He showed me the messages, asked me how long it had been going on. I panicked. I said they were old pictures, but he didn't believe me. You could see it on his face. He said he needed space and walked out. That was a week ago. I haven't seen him since. I don't know where he went. I just want to see him, talk to him once. I want to grovel at his feet, beg for his mercy. I don't want to lose him. Update. It's been 9 days and I finally have my answer. I guess I already knew it, but I still kept hoping. Kept telling myself maybe he just needed space. Maybe he was figuring things out. We hadn't talked since he walked out, but yesterday he called. It wasn't long. He told me he can't do this anymore. He said he's done and the engagement is off. I asked if he was sure, and he said yes. He told me he'd made his decision a few days ago, but didn't call right away because he didn't want to say it in anger. He didn't ask for explanations or details. He just said it didn't matter anymore, that too much damage had been done to our relationship, and even if I gave him every truth now, it wouldn't change how he feels. He said the way I lied when he first found those messages, the way I let it go on, the way I tried to make it seem like nothing, he's not going to try to build something off that. He told his family, just his parents and sister so far. No one else knows yet, but I'm guessing they will soon. I haven't told anyone on my side. I haven't touched social media. Our engagement post is still up. The photos are still on the fridge. The ring is still in the box in the drawer. I didn't argue on the call. I didn't cry or express my anger, frustration. I just went quiet. I wanted to hold on to that last shred of my dignity. He said goodbye and hung up. That was it. That was the end of us. I don't know what I expected. Maybe I thought he'd want to talk it through. Maybe I thought there'd be some version of this where we sit down, I tell him everything, and we try to fix it. Maybe try counseling, restart and reignite our relationship. But he's not that person. He doesn't do second chances like that. He said once that loyalty was non-negotiable for him. I guess he meant it. Since D-Day, I've been trying to sit with everything I did and not just gloss over it like I used to. I've started journaling every day. I've made an appointment to see a therapist. I've been going back over our messages, over my own behavior, over every excuse I told myself to justify it all. I never realized how selfish I was until I saw how many decisions I made were about what I wanted in the moment, not what I valued long-term. I don't expect him to ever come back, but I still love him, and I do want reconciliation. If hell freezes over and he ever changes his mind, even months from now, I'll be here. Not stuck in this version of myself, but as someone who's actually worked on the parts of me that caused this.